view styling is it's deeper than just like playing dress up.
Right.
So my process for styling really is creating sort of characters
Right.
with the models. So it's just like think of it like a movie. You dress them
Mm-hmm.
up as a character, but mine is based on real life.
Hey, welcome to Unpack Diaries, the journey from A to B. A for Anna and B for Barbara. Besties from the Philippines, now living in two different parts of the world.
This is where we unpack life abroad. The real, the raw, and everything in between. It's just like writing on the pages of our diary, but on a mic.
So grab a drink, get comfy, and let's start unpacking. All right, so
Yahoo!
Babs, we are having our first episode today with our first ever guest.
Yep.
And we are so honored and so happy that she's with us. We go way
So
back.
excited.
So little background of who's with us today. We've been friends since what? High school? Different batches, but we've been friends since high school.
Mm-hmm.
She's known to be our fashion it girl. Oh,
Yes.
fashion it girl. One of the first I would say one of the first OG influencers before influencers was even a thing.
Literally, yeah. I would say
And-
so too. Yeah.
I would say our baby girl with so many phases and so much energy and so much love. So without further what do you say that? Without further ado,
I do. Mm-hmm.
let's welcome in Miss Cher Louis Pio Alcantara.
Oh
Yay!
my gosh. Mrs. Alcantara now.
Okay na. Let's cut na natin yan. So, Cher, welcome. Welcome to Unpack Diaries.
Welcome. Oh my god, first guest.
So, just so everybody knows as well, this is legitly kind of like our catch up because we haven't
Yeah.
really all together. And Cher, in the previous episodes, we were saying that Dappy and I were the type of people to disappear out of nowhere and then just reappear. So, people know that about us by now. And we are explaining to them that this is kind of just like our diary. And it's something to look back to if one day we decide to disappear again. So,
Which
Don't
will
do
probably,
that.
I was going to say the likelihood of that happening a bit high, but hopefully
Yeah.
this keeps us in check, sort of.
this keeps
guys
us in
don't-
check.
You guys don't really go missing for a really long time. I mean, maybe not years, but every month we touch base, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
Well, you and
good
I
enough,
haven't
right?
in a long
Yes.
ass time.
But I
couple of
think
years,
also
maybe.
it happens when you're getting older.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
it's very natural,
say that.
especially living abroad. I feel like
I was going to say, yeah.
with the different time zones, even with Anna, would literally live
Like a
in
few
a state
minutes.
apart.
Yep,
a few
literally.
like different boroughs, I guess. But we only touch base like what once, twice every
We
year.
try. We even try.
Try is a good word. Okay, that doesn't mean we're not good friends, everybody. We're really good friends.
You know,
That's
sometimes
true.
it's not about like that's
The frequency, right?
Yeah, the low maintenance friendships I think are the best because you don't talk for a couple of months. Like, look, Bappy and I have been best friends since what? We were 10, and she disappears for like 3 months, and then we pick up as if
No,
she
half
never
a
disappeared for
year.
3 months.
No, exactly. Yeah.
So it's kind of low maintenance friendships are the best, especially like we said, especially when you're in different parts of the world.
Yep.
So that's where we're gonna start. You know, we're gonna ask you from the very beginning. You know, maybe you could just share to our listeners how your life is in Manila to begin with, and then we could take it from there. We're gonna start from there. Like, how was life for you in Manila before you decided to just pack up and go?
Okay, so I really love my life in Manila. I can't really complain. I feel like I'm very grateful for what I have back home, especially like having my family. They are in the entertainment industry. And it's opened a lot of paths for me, which I very much acknowledge and I'm very grateful for. I'm very blessed for that. Um, and I did a lot of different things. I feel, at least for my career path, I actually graduated. I know you guys know this. I graduated with an education degree because I
Yeah.
wanted to become a teacher, a preschool
Yeah.
teacher to be specific. Because I
Yeah.
really loved kids. But then as I gotten older, it really requires a specific sacrifice from you as a person. And like I truly love teachers for the passion that they have to educate kids. And I didn't have that in me to like deal with the paperwork. Honestly, it was
Mm.
fun to teach. Truly.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not like the paperwork. It was not a great thing to do and have to worry about. So I ended up wanting something else. So I don't know if you guys knew this. So I actually passed a fashion degree. I mean, like a fashion course
Oh,
in
Was that in
Benilde.
the Philippines? Oh,
Yeah, in
okay.
the Philippines.
I
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't.
how did we not know this? I didn't know
Yeah.
this.
So I applied for education in LaSalle
Okay.
University. Really wanted to do that. And then I also passed fashion for I forgot the specific course, but I passed it in Benilde and for some reason I didn't take it.
Mm.
Okay.
So for that reason, to explain it, I thought that I could always take fashion as a like a short course eventually in the
Right.
future if I wanted to pursue it. And but I wanted like I wanted something that I could do eventually in the future as well as a backup plan,
Mhm.
which is teaching. Because I feel like
Right.
teaching, I really loved it as well. But at the same time, like in my head, okay, they're always going to need a teacher. So maybe down in the line in the future, if I wanted to do that, I could do it again and I can go back to fashion at some point. So that sort of made my decision for that place at that time. But then when I graduated, I didn't want to do it. What did I graduated in my course? So I was lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Also the weight of being under what my brothers were doing, it was a
Right.
lot. So he was in a band.
Shout out to Kuya Champ and Kuya Chino.
Yeah.
They are welcome to guest in our podcast as well.
And then Cucina was a host in Mix, which is like a local music channel. Um, so I didn't know what I wanted to do. I also didn't want to be under their shadow. I actually didn't like being introduced as their little sister
Mm.
because
Mhm.
people will always get to know me as just that.
Did you
So I,
feel, sorry to cut you, but did you
that's
feel like a lot of pressure being under such a I would say famous siblings, and even
well,
your dad was pretty
Mhm.
known. So
yeah.
was there a lot of pressure on your end to
Um,
like
they never gave me pressure. It was
okay.
just me. It's me that I put on myself. So my dad, I mean, you guys know him. He was really like such a great dad. Growing up, he was just like, I don't care what you want to be when you
Yeah.
get older. Even if
Yeah.
you want to be a janitor, just do that. But like, just as long as you're happy and
That's
like
awesome.
you're providing the life that you want for yourself. So like
Mm,
growing up with
Tito.
that, it made it so much more easier because he also didn't choose the path of um I just need to make money to like be happy. He was just like, I'm gonna do what makes me happy
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and then make money along the way and figure it out. So he's like the eldest of 14 kids. My mom is the youngest
14?
of 14. Yes.
God bless.
Um, and my grandfather died pretty early. My lolo, my dad's side. I didn't
Uh-huh.
get to meet him, so him as being the eldest at that era,
He
he
stepped
had
up
to
as.
provide for
Mm.
them. So he actually was an accountant.
Oh
Um,
wow. Like
I will give yes,
completely different
Mhm.
yes.
Mhm.
industries. Whoa.
So,
Okay.
so like this is it's gonna lead up to your question of like my career path. So he was an accountant. He was providing generally for his family
Mm-hmm.
growing up to like make sure that the kids go to school,
Mm-hmm.
and like
Yeah.
take care of the siblings that he had to take care of. But then at some point when at least like four or five of them younger than him were a little bit more established and older, he was just like, okay, maybe I need to make a move for myself. So he moved to Manila from Davao because he's from the province.
Okay.
And then in Manila, he was doing, so I think accounting for a little bit, and then he was just like, I I hate this. It's just not for me. It's not what I'm
Not surprised.
about. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so he ended up like, I'm gonna do what I've always wanted to do. So when he was in Manila, he was doing like, I think accounting, and he was in a band at night. It was called Wadab. They made
Okay.
disco music. If no one knows, listen to them. Really good.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, and then after that he was just like, I'm gonna make a change. I don't really know what age he made that change, but he basically ended up working at the back end of production, music production. So I grew up literally in the music studio for majority of my time. And it was really cool to see him so passionate. Everything was analog too. It was not as like fast
Yeah.
paced as this one. So we would spend hours in the studio, and I would be sleeping in the couch, just hanging out with him. And then that's, I think that's the reason why, like, the way he loved his job, or his passion for like his skill, which is like music. Everything is music involved. He shared that definitely with his kids. That's why my brothers ended up the way, like,
Doing the same thing.
doing
Somewhat of
the
the
same
same thing, yeah.
thing. Like Kuya Champ is in the music industry because he didn't want to be in a desk job for 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Which,
Totally get
was
that.
forced by Kuya Champ to do the audition for Mix
Uh-huh.
because of him just like not figuring out as well at that time what he wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And me, when I graduated college, I'm like, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but blogging was a thing.
Yeah.
That was not
I'm
no
telling you, I think
info.
you were one of the first like OG like
Yeah. I would say so as
blogger or
well.
like
It wasn't a
right?
big thing
Right?
back then.
Yeah.
So growing friends. You.
No,
I mean, there were
it's
other OGs before me. I followed in their suit. And really, like, my Kuya Champ was also sort of the one who pushed me. He was just like, I know you don't really have a lot of money right now because you're fresh grad. I'm gonna get you your website, and you just do the work that you
Oh
want.
yeah, I
Like,
remember
that's
you
sweet.
had the
yeah,
website.
it was
Mm-hmm.
called Style by
Mm-hmm.
Cher.
Yes,
Yes.
oh my
Oh
gosh,
gosh, I
everything's
still remember
coming
that.
back in my
Yeah.
head. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
So when that
yeah.
happened, he kind of gave me an opportunity to explore a new, it was very new at that time. I didn't
Yeah.
know what entailed in blogging, what you needed to do, but I did
Right.
it regularly. And I got good jobs with it. I did it for a really long time, like I think 6 years. And then for some reason I ended up feeling a little bit lost in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that we would all go to the same things, promote the same stuff. I mean, that is the whole purpose of it, right?
Okay.
But
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
at the
it
same
just wasn't
time,
for you anymore.
yeah, no, but at the same time, it's just like I felt like I was just exactly like everybody. My identity was just like, oh, she's a blogger and all
Gotcha.
she's doing is promote stuff. And
Right.
at that time when you're like fresh grad, fresh off of college, it's I think at that age point you really want to kind of assert a little bit more of your identity, like moving forward in
Yeah.
life. And like I
Yep.
just didn't know what I wanted to do with that. I was just like, okay, things are really great, but it's just flatlined at some point
Right.
for me.
You felt like
So I
you
decided to make a
stagnated in
shift.
a sense.
Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
I decided to make a shift to the art industry. Thankfully,
Mm-hmm.
one of my friends from college that I actually met in an event.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that we went to the same college. So we
Okay.
met in an event, and he was just like, we became really good friends. So he was just like, I'll introduce you to one of my clients because he was doing insurance on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, I think you guys would really gonna get along. So I'm like, okay. I mean, it won't hurt to just try. So I ended up working at Afro. It's a really
I
nice
remember I used to go to you. I used to
art,
go
like,
Mm-hmm.
visit
yeah,
you. Yeah.
Same.
temporary like art
Yeah.
space in Manila in Ali Caravan. I really love that place. I will plug it as well if no one knows. Go there.
If you go
Um,
to Manila, go to sorry, what do you call that? It's
Afro
still
and
there,
Afro.
Afro.
Ali.
Is it
Yeah.
still
Go guys. If you're an
Um,
okay?
artsy person.
Yeah,
So
so
just a side note
They've
also,
got cool
guys,
stuff there.
yeah.
Cher and Bappy are like, and our other friend Erica, they're very artsy, and I'm just what do you call that? I'm just the extra on the side. I just come to events and say hi, but I
No,
have no idea what's going on. I have
you're the
no idea
business
what
Anne
that.
always
one.
says
I have
this.
no idea what that art thing is. I'm like, nice, but I don't really understand it. So, just a disclaimer: if they start talking about artsy stuff, I'm just gonna keep quiet and stay in my lane.
You're the business-minded one in the
No, that's
friend group,
true.
and
That is
everybody
true.
knows.
hmm
Um, so yeah, when I started there, I was actually the first employee that was hired. They were just opening.
I remember
When
that.
I did my
Yeah.
interview, they were not even open yet. But
Mm.
when I saw the shop, it was beautiful. It has a slide, wooden steps that sort of like becomes like a platform stage to showcase all the artworks. And I enjoyed working there. I was given an opportunity to go to Art Basel for 3 years,
Oh yeah.
to work for a Filipino, which is a gallery, which is called Art Informal. My boss also at that time, my ex-boss, owned it. And I was fortunate enough to have that opportunity and for her to give it to me because I think I got to fly in for a week for my first year after being with her only for 6 to 8 months.
That's cool.
And like,
That's
I don't
cool.
think that people would give you, like sort of a spot like that if you're new, you're
Right.
fresh in that job. Like, why would they give you an opportunity to be like, okay, go sell our like representation of Filipino art to big clients and
Art Basel,
collectors
yeah.
abroad? Yeah. So, and that happened like 3 more years. It was really great. I genuinely loved my time in the art industry. It's a whole different ball game, to be honest. Like the collectors and just being around them, it's very inspiring. But it's not just the collectors, but the artists themselves. Like to really delve into their minds and see
Yeah.
why they make these things and why, like to
Right.
have a direct story like from them why they made these pieces. It was very inspiring to me, and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
um
The best time of our lives,
yeah,
right? COVID.
so COVID happened, and then my job became a little bit too much. We were such a small team at that job. We were only
Mm-hmm.
three, so I was like front of the house. I was also like taking care of like emails and photography. And at that point, like COVID was a really rough time for everybody. I think everyone can agree with that,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the Philippines. I don't think a lot of people know this, but while everywhere else in the world, first
Was
world countries
opening
were
up.
moving forward,
Yeah.
hmm
we had to wait maybe another extra year to fully open back home, and the
Yeah,
lockdown
I
was
Yeah.
heard about
tough.
that.
They were not allowing people, like, so I went back home with my parents for that. Actually, it was a funny story when that happened. Dom and I, my husband, my husband now, my boyfriend then, was just visiting my parents for the weekend. And then they locked
Okay.
down the cities three
Oh my
hours after.
gosh.
Wait, sorry.
And
Dom was visiting your parents in Manila, or
no, so
visiting
he
his
was living
parents?
there with me. So Dom
Oh,
lived
okay.
there for 3 years. That's where we met.
Yeah.
And then for that weekend, we were just like, okay, well,
Normal visit,
yeah,
right?
it's just like,
Yeah.
you haven't seen my
Mm,
parents. We've been together for like 2 years at this point. I'm
yeah.
like, we visit every so often. So that was sort of our planned weekend to go visit. And then when that happened, um, they locked down literally like they locked down the city. So like
Okay.
Alabang was locked
Yeah.
down on their own. So if you're gonna go to Makati, you have to show like proof of residency for
Oh,
you to
right.
get
Oh my
in.
God, I
We're
remember
not gonna
that.
So
I
like,
you
completely
guys
forgot about
basically
that.
got stuck. Well, Dom got stuck.
yeah.
hmm
So
hmm
when that happened,
Oh
we're like,
my
okay,
god.
it's just today. We don't know what's happening. So maybe we can go
Yeah.
home tomorrow,
Tomorrow,
Like,
right?
and then I think 2 days in after, or 3 days in after me, I looked at him and I looked at my parents like, well, so now we have to decide. Are you staying or are you not staying? Because he also lived in like a studio apartment. He was sharing it with a friend. And I'm like, I don't know if you want to live I don't know how long this is gonna be. I don't know if you want to
Yeah.
live in a very small, close quarters that way for really, really long periods of time because
Right.
no one's giving us answers.
Right.
So that happened. So like with COVID, like he got to meet my parents, my family in a very
Like it was a
real
little
way.
intensive. I
Unconventional
know.
way, I
Yeah.
guess.
Like a PBB just for him
Immersion
with my
galore.
own family. And then yeah, so I had to leave that job because it was just mentally draining for me at that point. But not just because of the job, just like the whole setup of what COVID was that no one knew
Right.
what is this gonna
Yeah.
end, what's
Exactly.
happening, and like it was at least in our house, in my house with my family, we had like a little bit more free roam. You know, you can walk at least outside of your sidewalk.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you can walk to
Yeah.
different rooms and it's not just a studio. And then I decided to move. So Dom, in January 2021, decided to move back,
Mm-hmm.
just for family reasons,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been together at that point, like I think almost 3 years. And he was just like, we've talked about this. I've already asked your parents about their thoughts about the two of you moving, so I think we should just do it. So I'm
Okay.
like, okay.
So that was kind of like that was, well, I wouldn't say really turning point because it was already building up to that.
Yeah.
So you
Mm-hmm.
were
Mm-hmm.
already slightly talking about it before you even went, all right, let's do it. So
Yeah.
you were slowly talking about
Yeah.
this already.
It
And
And
wasn't
by
just
the
like
way,
a
just a
one.
side note
Mm-hmm.
as well, um, shout out to Dom because we love Dom. Because not I'm not gonna name names, but like the people that Cher's seen in the past weren't
Oh
really
my
as
gosh.
commendable as Dom. That's how that we put it that way, right? So, but people change, so people might have changed, so it's okay. But I'm
hey,
We
just
were young
saying,
back
shout out
then,
to
but
Dom.
still,
We're
we've
emphasizing
all
on Dom. We love Dom. Yay,
we
Dom.
love Dom.
we've all had questionable dates before.
Oh, lots,
Yeah,
lots,
I'm
lots. That's a
kidding.
whole
Other
episode
Episode on its
20, 21, and
season.
22.
Yeah.
All
It's not
season.
just one episode,
um
man.
Yeah, so basically, like when it happened, I've always wanted to move.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Right.
always wanted that for me when I was growing up. So I
Right.
was just like, when is it just gonna happen? We're gonna figure it out down the line. Like I was
Even
never,
even when you were like the influencer phase that you were having that little kind of fame and stuff, you really wanted to go
yeah,
regardless.
yeah.
Oh, okay, okay,
I've
okay.
always wanted to explore and live in a different place just
Mm-hmm.
because I felt that it was an adventure in itself. I'm not saying it wasn't going to be hard. I already know it was going to be hard, but
Right.
I've always envisioned myself living somewhere else because
Right.
I wanted to challenge myself and like just
Right.
experience a different culture in itself,
Right.
like to live and be around other people and like learn more about their other cultures, like because in the Philippines, like I love everybody. I love the Philippines, like I'm very proud
Yeah.
of coming from there. But at the same time, there's so much comfortability that comes with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's just really like if I needed help, my parents are there.
Right.
And if I need like and like everything kind of comes naturally. Like again, like I'm grateful for what my brothers has provided me as well. At the same time, it's just like everything's there if you wanted it. You don't
It's
really
too
like
comfortable.
yes,
That's
like
what it was.
you
Yeah.
work hard for what you get for sure. But at the same time, like opportunities are also just there because of who do you know? Who are your connections? And like it's great and it's a very comfortable life and it's a very privileged life. But at the same time, I'm just like this is great, but I want more.
So I guess like you wanted growth, and we
Yeah.
spoke about this, Babs,
I
right?
was gonna
Like
say, like, this is exactly what. So Anna and I were literally having parallel conversations. I think
mhm.
during episode one, like
One and
literally
two actually.
everything that
Yeah.
Cher has just said in the
Yeah.
last 3 minutes was exactly what Anna and I both said about our own journeys. About what was that? Not really a turning point, but what made us move ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly the same reasons and the
The
same
same line
sentiment. It's like,
goes
mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm.
same line goes, right, Bab, what we said. It was it's okay to be content, but you just
Yeah.
can't be complacent.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
undoubtedly.
So
And in the
that's where
Philippines, you're
we,
very kampante
Yeah,
because
because
you
it is
have
a good
that sort of,
life.
it is a
and
great
again,
life
like
back home.
Yeah.
with what
I'm
Cher said,
never
like the
gonna
people we
complain about
know,
my
there's
life
family
back
there.
home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
I just think that when you're there, I know a lot of my friends back home as well who would never want to move. And I
Yeah.
understand it
That's true. That's
1000%.
true.
They are not built that way and I don't
Oh
blame
yeah.
them
Yeah.
one bit for that, but it was just not for me. I'm not saying I'm not going to come back home eventually. Like maybe I would. It's not in my cards right now. It's not what
Mm-hmm.
we're thinking about. I wanted something new and like COVID happened and I saw it sort of an opportunity for me to be like, well, nothing's happening here anyway.
Right.
So why
So
wait
might as well.
and try
Right.
somewhere else? And
So
sorry, go
how
ahead.
did your, sorry, I was just curious too. Like, so I mean, you and Dom obviously decided to go, pack up and go. How did your family feel? How did you
I was
react? Because
literally
I
gonna
know
ask.
your
Nice one.
parents were a
Yeah.
little strict, and they
And you're
were a
the
little
baby of
like,
the family. You're the
yeah,
youngest.
you're the baby of
So
everybody. You're our
that's
baby.
true.
You're the baby of your family. So literally everything. So just also with the listeners know, like we take care of Cher. Like growing up, she was literally like our baby. Like we were always like, what is she doing? Who is she with? Who's this person?
We
Why
were
is
like
she
extra
here?
protective
Like
over her.
extra protective. I don't know what it was, but she really was our like baby girl. We always call her a baby girl, right? So
Also did not know why. I feel like a lot of my
We
friends
were
back
born the
home treat
same
me that way.
year, but oh really?
yeah,
Okay.
you and Bappy were born in the same year. That's
Yeah.
correct. And I don't know. We just always thought that we always had to look after. Like I would remember, like when we're out, we're always like, "Where's Cher? Where's Cher?
Oh,
Who's
that's
she with?"
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I'm
Whereas I
always
wouldn't be
running
like,
around gallivanting, as my parents would say. Gallivanting a little bit too much. Mom, don't judge me. I'm really nice growing up, I promise.
Gallivanting. That is like
that
the
word
perfect
too.
term for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Gallivanting.
My mom would always say, ano, gallivanting ka na naman. I'm like, what? I do. I'm so good. I offer people water. Like, I'm talking to
Oh yeah.
everyone.
You offer them like shots too.
Yeah.
Let's not forget about the good stuff.
But so yeah, so
Keep me at
just
balance.
just circling back to that, like how did they react? Because I
Mm.
know they're quite
Um,
strict with you and stuff.
so again, we've had this conversation with them before. So actually,
Oh, okay,
when it
okay.
happened, we set up a dinner with my parents, me and Dom, like sort of a
Mm-hmm.
double date. So that they could just really get to know him more just by himself. Because if my brothers are there, they're kuyas. They're gonna be like, "Ah, I don't want to talk to this guy." All of this. So I ended up coming late because I was coming from work. And
Mm-hmm.
Dom was just like, he wasn't, I think he was free that night. So my
Mm-hmm.
parents were there and he got there ahead of me. So he
Mm-hmm.
sat with them and, he's a personable guy. So he's started
Very.
talking to my parents. And then I think he was just ballsy enough to just ask them, like, I don't exactly know how the conversation went, but basically, like, he asked them, like, I do eventually want to bring your daughter to the States.
Wow. Okay.
So, like, or
Mhm.
how would you feel about that if that does happen? Um, and my mom actually but both my parents were very excited because they're just like, you should take
Mm.
her. I think you should bring
Oh,
her.
interesting.
I think that she would do well if you
Okay.
do like push her in that sense. But also because my mom was a nurse in New York before I was born.
Mhm.
That I didn't know
So,
either. That's
yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
We're actually learning a lot of new things today.
Really? Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
so
this.
she
Mhm.
was very, very excited to hear that I could live a life that also had lived
Mhm.
before she became like, like full mother to her kids. Like she's always been a mother to her kids, but she
Right.
wasn't a stay-at-home mom,
Yeah.
So my mom, before I was born, I think before Kuchina was born as well, she was a nurse here. And she was doing long distance with my dad and they're doing all the love letters that you send via mail and all of that, which I think was very sweet. And it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
It was very heartwarming for them to be very supportive. And that
Yeah.
was
That's
like
nice.
a year and a half or 2 years before I even left. And I think for my
Okay.
mom, she wanted me to have that adventure she had. She had a time of her life when she was here. And she was working really hard to provide for her families back home, for her family, not just our family, but her own family as well, with like her siblings, her parent, like at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted me to have that. She wanted me to
Right.
experience a different life somewhere else. And I think it's because ultimately for them, it felt like it was a good challenge for me,
Mm.
or like
Right.
to see you grow as well as a person. So it was great because when I told them, when Dom and I both told them that we were going to leave, they
Mm-hmm.
were like, it's okay, but like you need to figure out what you're going to do because you can't just leave and figure it out. So
Right.
after COVID, I'm not after COVID, but when COVID was a little bit open, like
Mm-hmm.
less
Lockdowns
restrictions
were
back
easing up.
home,
Mhm.
Dom and I moved to his apartment. Because his roommate left, so we had like a free apartment just to
This
work.
is in the city.
This was in Makati.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
So we moved there, and sort of it was our trial run if we do good at living together. And
Yeah.
even my parents were like, I'm not really 100% sure if I want this. But
Right.
if you're leaving and you're gonna live together, might as well do it. It's not gonna hurt anybody at that point. And like you saying, they are traditional Filipino parents.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Years then, they would have not allowed that. But they
Right.
really
Right.
loved them. So
Right.
Yeah.
it
We
helped them
love
kind of
Dom.
open up. Yeah, open
We
up
all
to that
love Dom.
idea.
Yeah.
And so we did that for 6 months, and then I had to go back to my parents because Dom moved January 2021, and
Mm-hmm.
then I moved June 2021. So I moved 6 months after, so he can sort of set up his
Right.
kind of get
Right.
himself back in the groove here, and while I will be just coming when a little bit things are more settled down, like there's an apartment waiting and like he has a job already because he did
Right.
live in Manila for 3 years,
Mhm.
so that is a lot of time as well. And at the same time, like here COVID was kind of open already, like COVID,
Yeah.
the
It was definitely
it was
open.
stopped,
Mhm.
so it's like it was open,
Nobody
people,
cared.
yeah, 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 like people were out and enjoying their lives while in Manila. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
I have because we're on the topic, Mike. I have a question for the both of you. What is your take on that? Because we come from such a conservative Catholic country in general. Uh, but what is your take on that living in before marriage? Right, it's a big deal in our culture. So what do you are you guys both for? Because obviously you
I've
guys
done
know that
it.
I'm for it because I think
We've all
before
done it.
I think before you get married to anybody, I think you should get to know them day to day. So what
Mhm.
what are your takes on that? Just side touch on this because
You can
I'm just
go,
curious.
Abby.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead?
I mean, I did it, although in my case it was a bit more of out of necessity because so well, my daughter's dad, we decided to move in together when I was pregnant. And so it was just like,
Yeah.
oh well, obviously we're gonna do this, so like, we move in together, so on and so forth. But like I don't I mean, for me it's just very straightforward. Like I just don't see anything necessarily wrong with it.
Wrong with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that simple for me. It's just like, oh, okay, if people want to do it, then they do it. But
Right.
if they prefer
Right.
to, like save that for after marriage, it's just like, okay, just, different preferences,
Yeah.
I guess.
Right.
That's all there is, yeah.
For me, I think people would, at least I think for our generation, it's not really a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think it's because you do want to get to know them in a home setting. Like if you
Right. Because
choose
it's very
to
different.
live with this person for the rest of your life, you're going
Right.
to
Mhm.
see it when you live together. All the quirks, all the
Right.
things that annoy you, but
Right.
you could either live with or not live with. It's
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the smallest of things can be a deal breaker for other people,
Oh,
while
that's
for
true.
other people it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
like you also get to see all sort of the moods that they go through and like
Mm-hmm.
how they work as a person. So I don't think it's a necessarily a bad thing, but I also understand that's just how our generation works compared to our parents because
Right.
for them it wasn't, I don't think it was normal, for them at that point to like move into an apartment.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
think
Yeah.
it wasn't as open in terms of being easy to like
Mm-hmm.
move in an apartment and be like, okay, we're gonna just gonna do that. Like, I
Right.
think back then it was just so much more like not practical.
Right.
And
Mhm.
maybe that kind of drives in sort of that conversation. Like, I don't think that's allowed. It's not
It's a
good.
conservative. It was such a
Yeah.
conservative. Yeah.
But I think that sort of paved the way for us to be able to be open to it,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's just me,
Mhm. Mhm.
but because I don't blame my parents for not wanting it for me, because I
No.
understand there's like a
Yeah.
lot of things that could go wrong with it too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But for me personally, I think it's fine. But you have to understand what you're putting yourself into.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like
Mm-hmm.
it comes with everything, but at the same time, if it gets really bad, you can just leave. No matter
Exactly.
how terrible, like how, like if it's very like bad for you, I think people tend to forget that they can leave, but it's
I
also
think it's
different.
mentally harder than physically.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
But
Yes. More
Yes,
than
mhm.
anything.
Mhm.
1000%. I think that a lot of it really comes to having the willpower to leave because there's so much more that entails with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, and like I understand like how difficult it can be, but
Mhm.
living together honestly it's depends again what the Bappy said. It's just like your preference. If you want to, you
Um,
can.
this is somewhat related, I guess. But earlier, as before we started talking about the whole living in topic, um, based on what Cher was saying, I was thinking of this question wherein it was like, sorry, I'm gathering my thoughts, but it's like, oh, I noticed there was a pattern between the three of our journeys in
Mm-hmm.
terms of moving abroad, families' reactions and stuff like that. And it seems that none of us were met with that much resistance. So,
No. Yeah.
like in my head, um,
They wanted to kick us all out.
yeah. Well, my family just knew that I'd do whatever I want to do. But it's kind of like my initial thought was, oh, we're a bit different from the maybe the average, Filipino kid because normally the families stick
Right.
together for as long as possible. But now I'm wondering if that's really the case because I
Or
might be
the idea
mistaken. Like,
of people leaving out of necessity rather than it's their choice to leave, right?
oh,
We
right. Oh, there's a
never,
nuance
none of the
there.
three of us had to leave. It was a
Yeah,
choice
we
to
wanted to
leave.
do it for growth.
Right. So that's also like
Yeah.
another aspect of this whole packing up and go, because that's a different perspective. Which,
Mm-hmm.
the three of
Mm-hmm.
us, we did realistically, if we wanted to stay in Manila, we all could have. So, but
Mm-hmm.
it was just a growth thing for us, right? So,
Yeah. I find
yeah,
that
it
interesting.
I
Yeah.
I am wondering now with what you said, Babs, like kind of like, is that the case now? Like maybe times have changed,
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Mm-hmm.
like I guess times have everything has evolved for sure. Like
Yeah.
our generation,
Oh, so
it
different.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of different things that we do, like us millennials do, because of all the generational trauma. But but it's true. We break the mold. That's kind of what it
Mm-hmm.
is. We've been breaking the mold because of what we experienced when we were younger. But then again, we're not blaming our parents, because also that's all they knew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When they disciplined us
Exactly.
the way they did, that's all they knew. It's not their
Correct.
fault.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course you could still change it, and they could have broke the mold, but then it was such a different time. It was such a different time. So I always say this. And my mom, sometimes she would come to me and like apologize for what she, from all the stuff that we went through and all that. And I'm like, it's
She
really, don't
did?
blame yourself. Yeah, she did. So I
Wow.
was like,
Okay.
don't blame yourself, because it's not really fully your fault, because again,
No, no.
that's
Mm-hmm.
all you knew. Like, how is that your fault if that's all you knew?
There was no one there
So
to make them see like what's outside of
yeah,
that, I don't know, mindset behavioral thingamabob that they were
exactly.
exposed to their whole lives. So
Yeah,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
exactly.
My like take on that as well is they're just trying to do better than what they've
Yeah,
had. Like
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think as like you guys, you have kids. I don't really have kids right now. So like, but I think Anna, when I talked about this when we had lunch like a few months ago, or
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long it was. But it's just like to just wanna be better than what they left you with.
Mhm.
Right.
It's like
Right.
it's breaking the mold by yourself, but at the same time, it's just like using what they've given you and making better of it.
Right. Right.
It's again because at the end of the day, that's a whole different generation. Every time I think about my parents, especially as I've gotten older,
Right.
because it's different when you're younger. Everything is just
Oh
like
yeah.
fighting for you, and they love you so much, but you don't really, it doesn't really cross your mind
Yep.
as early as that, unless
Yep.
at least for my situation. So as I'm getting older and I look back at my parents and like really thinking about their lives, because
Mm-hmm.
as an adult they are adults too, I'm like a baby adult, they're the adult,
Right.
but I can look back at it and be like, you were a whole person. You
Yeah.
had your own adventures, you've had
Yep.
your own like problems and things
Yeah.
that you had to go through in life, and like I never really thought about that growing up. To me, you were just
Because you
my
just
parent,
saw them at yeah, just a
Right.
but
parent.
now
Right.
as
Hmm.
an adult it's just like I want to hear about your life,
Yeah.
how
Right.
it is growing up,
Right.
and like all of the trials that you went through, and like all the sacrifice you've had to give,
Yeah.
because like I feel that now, like as
Hmm.
an adult, like
Because of
I
all the
feel every,
struggles.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, but also it just like it highlights them in a whole different light, to
Yeah.
kind
Hmm.
of they are humans, but to humanize your parents,
Yeah.
I think is one of the best gifts I could give to myself, so
Yeah.
that I can like love them more, because like
Right.
it provides like a better kind of mindset for me to understand like it's not really your fault if you're acting this way, or like,
Right.
or just how you grown.
There's a reason,
There's
there's a reason for everything.
Yeah, like the toughness that you show us is coming from a certain thing. Like I
Hmm.
actually saw this thing. It's so funny because it's like it was a meme, and like this is how you know you're an adult when
Oh
you
no.
try to psychoanalyze the thought that comes with the action that adults do. Instead of just making
Right.
dismiss, you're
Yeah.
like
Right.
you're trying to
Right.
analyze ano kaya yung trauma niya. Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
which
yeah. You
trauma? And
analyze
then,
everything that
where
there's
is
a
it
reason.
coming from? It's just
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
being your own sort of therapist for them,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
like you're not talking to the person. You're just talking with us as your friends. It's just like I wonder what happened, or like what triggers this, and like
Yeah.
did a shitty thing for what reason. I'm not talking about just parents, like just people in general. Like
Yeah.
that's very.
Sometimes it's funny because you end up justifying, even if they're doing something wrong, you kind of end up justifying it just
I
because
do
you
that
understand
though.
it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like if somebody's rude to you, you're like, oh, maybe she's having a bad day.
Yeah,
Like, like
No,
you're
I oh
suddenly
my yes, I do that to
empathizing.
everything
Empathizing
now.
is a big word.
Hmm. Hmm.
like so it's just funny how things are now that we're of age, like actual of age, and we now understand. I think I had a conversation with my mom, and I said, I'm sorry because I now understand you. I now understand your struggles and what you went through. And again, that's for another episode. But like I was just saying, like I now understand. So just going back again. So what's your current situation now? Where are you at? What's your job? What have you been doing now that you're in the US, you're in the East Coast?
So again, I moved here 4 years in June 12th, which is the Independence Day of the Philippines.
Yay! Share independence.
So like right now, what I do is I am a freelance stylist. I do a lot of work, at least not a lot enough for me, I guess, for campaigns truly. So I work with companies that needs like either campaigns or e-com shoots, and I do that. And generally, that's really what I do. I help out also with Dom's Collective. It's called Barangay,
Mm-hmm.
and it's I won't say it's generally a Filipino collective of
Mm-hmm.
like Filipinos that grew up here, And they do events as well. There's like, it's not just Filipinos, we have other like cultures also part of it, but generally it's majority Filipinos. And they do events, like they do parties. I spearheaded an event called Dine and Dance,
Mm-hmm.
which basically is you have dinner and then there's a DJ playing specific tunes for you. It's just tapping into people who don't necessarily like to go out late anymore, but they will go out for good
That was
food
me.
and
Okay.
and
Okay.
just for fun. So
That
you
was
kind of
me. It was fun actually. It was a different vibe
thank you.
from it was a different vibe from what I'm normally used to. But then you got the both of you are always different vibes, which is great. That's what makes me alive because I learn new things with you guys. But you said that so you're styling. Technically would you say you're a stylist? Is that a correct?
Yes.
So you're a stylist in New York City.
Yeah.
That is like a dream job of
That
a
job
lot of
title's like, yeah,
people.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
how is that? I am very curious because when you say New York City, first thing you think is, hey, fashion
Hmm.
capital. Well, of course, Paris too and all that. But I'm just saying, like, New
One
York
of
City is
the.
one of those,
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
everybody wants to be there. Everybody wants to be in fashion. Everybody wants to be a model. So you were able to style models, brands, and for brands and stuff. So how was that? That I'm curious.
Uh, so it's generally like
How is that? Not how was it? Because you're
Hmm.
still doing that right
yeah,
now.
so it's a lot of work. I mean, it's different because when you're freelance, an in-house stylist is like you're styling specifically for one brand, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you're doing all their campaigns and all of these things. And like
Right.
it's great, but at the same time, like it's a regular paycheck. So that's like really great that
Yeah.
that happens to you. Being a freelance stylist, it's there's so much more diversity in what you can do because
Right.
you basically have to work with brands and kind of need to know what they're about, like
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
their line is about, and the collections that they have, what storytelling that they want to do, and
Hmm.
then to kind of create something with the looks. I view styling as much, it's deeper than just like playing dress up.
Right.
So my process for styling really is creating sort of characters
Right.
with the models. So it's just like think of it like a movie. You dress them
Hmm.
up as a character, but mine is based on real life. So if let's say they're targeting more of like a Gen Z, I'm not a Gen Z, but like I can research more about that and like
Hmm.
try to kind of incorporate some of the key pieces that I like or key styling points that I like into a look, but also still create something that is generally me. Like, so my rule for styling is I would style something that I would want myself to wear in for women's or
Hmm.
even men's too.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it's just like sort of creating something that people can relate to. It's like
Were
this
you
outfit.
doing this in Manila as well?
I was
Were
doing
you
it
you were a stylist,
also.
right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
I was styling specifically for Erica's projects. Erica,
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
I love
right.
you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Hmm.
She loves to
Shout out
wear.
Erica, we love you too.
Yes.
So yeah, sorry. Back to that. You were styling for projects as well in Manila.
Yeah.
So question would be, again, this is coming from somebody who's not artsy, so I have a lot of questions. Uh do you is it the same? How, like, what is it, a massive difference?
Not really. I think the only difference would be is just like you're playing sort of in the big leagues right now.
Yeah, you're
So
definitely
like
playing in the
back
big
home,
leagues.
big leagues are big leagues, literally. Like if
Right.
you have
Hmm.
those opportunities, they're pretty much at their own level, but it's also like New York is one of the top cities in the
Absolutely.
world.
If not the top.
And
Yeah.
like
Not
when I
just in
say big
fashion. Yeah.
leagues, like
Yeah.
this is your chance to kind of prove yourself that you can do this.
Right.
And like to really want to be in it. So when I moved here, I didn't exactly know what I wanted to do, if I wanted to go back to art or
Mm-hmm.
if I wanted to pursue this.
Right.
The going back to fashion styling. And I was just fortunate enough to have had opportunities to
Mm-hmm.
kind of go for it and
Right.
have the shoots that I had. Like I'm very happy with the people that I've met here. They've opened up a lot of opportunities for me to be able to create what I have for myself
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um so yeah, like right now I'm doing freelance styling. It's it's fun, but it's also difficult in its own thing because you as a freelance you kind of have to create your own standards
Mm.
and your own process because when you're in house you kind of have to work with the system that they have.
Right.
But being a freelance stylist is it's just like you do have to work with different companies, right? So they all have their own different standards, so you have to regularly adjust yourself
Adjust, yeah.
to
Right.
not just the person that you're talking to, but this person that's hiring you has higher ups that they need
Mm.
to also like get approvals from. And it's not, I'm outsourced. So at
Right.
that point, like I have to wait for the middle person to get the higher ups approval, and that would either entail me adjusting my outfits last minute, or just like finding new things or new ways to create a look that they would be
Right.
happy with. A lot of it really is being able to be adaptable
Right.
to things on the fly, because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things can either happen because there's different systems for different companies. Some people they do like test runs with the test
Right.
models, so
Mm-hmm.
it means that you can see how the outfit looks on the models, and then you can have the shoot day where everything's prepped already. But some companies don't do that, so I'll be creating a look and I wouldn't know how it looks on the model until the day of.
Mm. Mhm.
Oh wow,
And
that's
you have,
challenging.
yeah, and you have like a certain amount of hours that you're working with
Right.
because you're paying for the studio, you're paying for the models, you're paying for the makeup, and you're paying for my
Right. Right.
and like the production as well. So like the entirety of it is just like you really need to be able to adapt to what's given and like do adjustments on the go and like on a time crunch.
Mhm.
It's
So,
really fun. It's a fun job, but the reality of it is like at least for me, I'm a very type A person when it comes to something I'm
Mm-hmm.
very passionate about, which is
mm.
styling. So a lot of days there are, I catch myself in moments where I'm like, I don't think this is good.
Mhm.
Truly.
Right.
Like for me, my own standards, I don't think this is good. But then
Right.
it also keeps me grounded to like work with other people who's just like, no, it's actually really good. Like it's like I guess it's like imposter syndrome in its own self because
Mm. Can
I
relate.
know
Mhm.
I can do more,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but then there's also limitations that I have to work with. It's just like, is there a styling budget that they're gonna give me?
Right.
If
Right.
they don't have that, then I would have to pull everything out of my own closet.
Right.
Because like, and as the pay enough for me to do returns if I purchase something, like that's gonna take more time out of my day because I would have
Mhm.
to buy it on a specific day, do the shoot, then return it the next day, and that's gonna come out of my own pocket. So like, there's a lot of factors that you need to think about if
Mm-hmm.
how far do you want to go with the job that you have, and like generally it's just like you do have, at least for me, I always want to challenge myself with every project that I have
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because right now I'm consistently working with one company. I'm
Right.
not in-house for them, but they're very happy with the job that I do. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if I should plug them or not.
It's okay. You can
I
plug
just
away.
I just don't
We're
know.
plugging everybody
But
right
if
now.
yeah.
Okay, well, Alpha Industries,
That
check
sounds
it
a bit
out.
weird. We're
That's
Oh,
plugging
Alpha
everybody
Industries.
right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
but like
yeah.
okay.
So I do a lot of, I've done a lot of like campaigns for them for their fall winter majority, or just
Shout
like,
out Alpha
yeah.
Industries.
So and I'm very grateful that they give me so much opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's just like with that scenario for me, I know the products that are coming out, and like also just like having to challenge myself with dealing with these products often.
Right.
Because
Right.
like at the end of the day, there are jackets. It's not just
Mhm.
about like the company in itself, but like when you think of it in a grander scale, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm working with jackets consistently, how many more outfits or styling can I do for one jacket?
That's true.
And then it's like pushing yourself like, no, I can do 10. No, 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 no. Now I have to do 20. And like it kind of just
Right.
keeps expanding your library of like how much can you do with one piece, which I think is a great challenge as a stylist.
Yeah.
I it's just like it does push you to think outside of the box every so often, or like majority of the time if you think that way. And it's also just being able to sell it,
Right.
to have it be relatable to people and be excited, because I truly believe that there's so much power in how you style and how you present yourself.
Oh,
Because
for sure. Didn't we talk about this, Babs? Like, if there's one thing that we took away from the Philippines, I guess the Philippine culture to here, because Cher, I was explaining to Bappy that the American kind of like way of dressing, they're very lax. Like they go to school in their pajamas,
All
yeah,
right. Yeah,
and
yeah. We were talking
and
about
we
this.
were always taught, I guess it's an Asian thing, I don't know if it's just Filipino in general, but we were
Mm.
always taught that, especially my parents always taught me, when you're going out of the house, you have to look presentable.
Presentable. Oh, that's the
Regardless if
word,
you're
isn't
just
it?
going to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
supermarket, it doesn't matter. You have to look presentable. You
It's
can't
not
have
being
disheveled
dressed
hair.
up. It's being
Yeah,
presentable.
yep.
Yeah.
exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So I have a question though. Do you think that it, for people like yourself who moved, right? Like is that in New York a really hard industry to get into, like being a stylist?
I can
So you
imagine.
would say you're
Yeah.
you're very blessed to be able to do what you're doing right now
Yeah.
because it's very saturated, would you say?
Competition's
Oh,
high.
wow.
Yeah.
It's it New York is a very creative city. And
Yeah.
like there's a lot more cities that you can be fashionable in, and like to strive to do what I'm doing right now.
Yep.
But the biggest opportunities you can get is in New York. It's same as
Right.
Paris, same as like Milan.
Milan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and like
Yeah.
Copenhagen right now, they have their own fashion week as well. But or like Tokyo, but
New
it's always the
York's,
big three.
I would
It's
say
always
though, New York, sorry, sorry to cut you off, but like, because New York is not just New York, which also ties into something I wanted to ask you because you were talking about adaptability earlier.
Hmm.
And so, firstly, like, was it your first time in the US when you moved there
Uh,
in
no, I
2021?
visited before.
Okay.
But when I visited, it was like 11 years ago at this point, or
Oh,
12
okay,
years
okay.
ago.
Yeah.
Right.
I
And it wasn't like a
visited and
long-term thing, it was like a
yeah.
holiday
No, so
situation.
it was semi long term. So
Oh,
I
okay. Mhm.
visited my sister in San Francisco
All right.
for three
Mm.
months.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
Because,
she was finishing her maternity leave, and my
mm-hmm.
mom was wanting to take care of her kid. So I had
Right.
an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to live here in like three
For a
months.
bit.
And then in that trip, I visited New York for a week with my mom. She was very
Right.
excited.
Okay. Because I was gonna ask like um going back to adaptability, how was it like, was there an adjustment period to the culture there? Because it's not just moving from the Philippines to a different culture, but also the fact that New York in itself is very multicultural. It's
Mm-hmm.
not
Yeah.
just like, let's say, moving to, I don't know, Sicily in Italy, where it's like just one relatively homogeneous culture.
Yeah.
New York is like a
Right.
melting pot of everything, right? So
Yep.
was that like a big adjustment period, or you felt at home because it was so diverse, or like,
I think it's the latter that you said. Like, I really
mm,
did feel a little bit more at home because it is very diverse.
mm,
But I think it wasn't really much of adjustment in terms of, what would I say? It's like it's an adjustment in itself to learn more about the cultures, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, I was excited generally to
yeah,
see more.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
like in Manila, we get also foreigners that come visit, right?
But it's different.
But it's like it's more
Yeah.
of just like a perspective of like I'm Filipino, I'm seeing a foreigner, but now I'm a
Right.
foreigner here.
Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Right. Right.
mm-hmm,
And
Right.
like and to have other foreigners as well kind of in the same boat as I am,
Right.
kind of it
yeah,
helps. So it's more exciting than like being a bad adjustment or a terrible adjustment. The one that I need to adjust the most was the weather.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not
Oh,
well
yes.
with the cold, and the
that's what
cold is
Anna
not
was
like
talking
me.
about as
So
well. Yeah.
Yeah, so it
Oh
was
my goodness.
weather that threw me off. Like
Yeah,
my first year was like, oh, winter's so cute and pretty in the big
right?
city. The second year was like, get me the fuck out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. This fucking sucks. Sorry for my bad words.
It's
No.
okay.
But like, it was more enjoyable for me in terms of living here because I was more curious
Right.
of the city.
That's
And
that
like
makes such a big difference.
yeah,
Yeah.
the curiosity for me is what drives me. Like the city's so big. There's so
Yeah.
many
Mm-hmm.
things you could do, so many people you can meet, and so many things you can learn from. And like that's a good driving force for me. So like that enjoyment and excitement that I had moving here, I still have it in me right now that's driving me to just enjoy what I have here.
Yeah.
But, like living abroad, there's a lot of challenges that you think
Yeah.
about, and
Mm-hmm.
then you don't really know how you're gonna adjust to it until you're in it.
You're in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I
like,
remember we had this conversation, Cher. I think you were just taught, you were still in Manila, I think, and we had this conversation. I think I remember I told you that New York is yours. Like it's your playground because it's the fashion industry, it's the arts, like it screams Cher basically.
If there was a city in the world
Yeah.
that screamed Cher, that would
Right?
be New
Don't you
York.
agree, Babs? Like if there was exactly, if there was a
Yeah.
city in the world, it would have always been New York City. That's why when you were deciding that you knew you were gonna come here, I was like, oh, she's gonna make it here because it's just I think it's in your DNA to be.
thank you.
It
It
super
really
matches
is.
Cher's personality.
Compliment.
Because
Yeah.
not everyone can handle New York. And
No.
Cher is like
No.
built for New York.
You.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best compliments anyone can give me as someone who moved and didn't really have like a full laid out plan as being like a
Right.
type A I'm a type A person at work, but in
Yeah.
life not
But
really.
life is.
In life not really. And I think I had like like two of my really close friends, Lorene and Miggy. They visited I think on my first year
Mm-hmm.
or like a year and a half in. And when I saw them, I think on the second day, randomly when I was walking up to them to meet them in the city,
Mm-hmm.
they were just like, you really fit here. And like
Mhm.
Yeah, you really do.
yeah, it came out of nowhere. And, I never asked for it. And like for them to
Yeah.
just say it at their own little like different pockets of like conversation, like I appreciate that the mostest
That's
because
cool. Yeah.
it's New York is a tough city.
Hmm.
You need
Oh.
to love it. You really need to love it
Yes.
and like
Yes.
be willing for all the craziness that it comes
Yep.
with to be able to like work there or live
Mm-hmm.
there or just like just enjoy the city for what it is because if you don't have a thick skin in New York, it will eat
Nope.
you up and spit you out. And me, it's just like eat me up again. It's fine.
It's not for the faint of heart.
It's
You know, I
Not
thought I was gonna
really
live
not.
there. Can you guys
Yeah,
imagine me there
did
now?
you
Because
do
I did an
perhaps you
internship.
message? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I was there for 2 months. Weird
Yeah.
because my internship was at the Philippine Permanent Mission to the UN. Can you imagine me in that sort of like career path now?
Now I can't.
What on
But
earth,
back then
right?
I
But
could.
like, yeah, and I was like, I loved it. And but again, like different goals back then. I was like, what, early 20s or something like
Yeah.
this?
Yeah,
And
it
now
was
it's just
different.
like, I don't know. Yeah,
But
I.
Do you
Mm.
think? Do you think, Cher, in terms of your career, do you think it was easier to do it? It was a lot easier to do it in Manila, like the whole like being a stylist and stuff, or it's just a different ball game.
it's a
What do
different
you think?
ballgame.
Just a different ball game.
Different
It
ball.
also had its challenges in Manila.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the standards back home are, especially right now, it's really like up and coming, like there's so much more
Gotcha.
opportunities and so much more like um at least a lot more people are knowing about like what Philippines can offer compared to
Right.
before. There's so
That's
much
true.
more like there's so much more avenues now that they can showcase that. But
That's
at that
true.
time when I was there, it's a really great place to start with
Mm-hmm.
and like to hone in your skills.
Mm.
But me, just the person that I am, I wanted more.
Right.
I wanted a challenge. I wanted growth. And like you can get that at home but then it's also coming in sort of like a social game. Social game is everywhere. You need to have connections everywhere to open up more doors for you and have more
It's
opportunities.
just life, I guess.
Yeah,
I
but like
think.
back home, it's so small kasi Manila is
Right.
it's
Right.
small, it's big, but it's small enough that if you're
Right.
in the
Especially
industry,
those social circles. Yep,
yeah,
it's a
like if
very
you're in an
small.
industry, you get to meet everybody, or like
Mm.
if this person's a friend of a friend, or like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
like it's just like sort of a foot away from you if you really
Right.
wanted it.
Hmm.
While in New York, the challenge for at least my role is how do I create these connections right now? Because
Right.
so like I moved here, I was 29. I turned 30 in New York or in like Jersey, because that's where we live. I will say
Mm-hmm.
it. But my work is in New York. But and I turned 30. It was like it's a whole different place when you're in your 20s. And
Very
I see
different.
that now. Like
Yep.
in your 20s, you get to fully enjoy your
Mm-hmm.
20s a little bit more lax than life, like less complications
Less
and like
responsibilities at that
less
time.
responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the city itself is a big responsibility.
Yeah.
Truly, to want to live there, you need to hustle, you need to
Yeah.
grind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
me coming in my 30s, like 30, I moved here when I was 30. I'm like, am I doing this right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Yeah.
like I'm late in the game now. Everyone's more established, or like they are establishing themselves, but they've built a life here and they're ahead of me.
Yeah.
While I'm moving here and all I have is Dom,
Right.
husband.
Oh,
Oh,
I feel you, girl.
yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
Hmm.
Like, but then that's sort of like the mental challenge that you have to face with. Like I put myself in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Am I
Mm-hmm.
gonna back down or not? Am
Exactly.
I gonna fight
Oh.
for my place to
Right.
be here, and do I deserve to be here? But then it's a mental game, really. The end of the day, I do deserve to be here. I have this
Mm-hmm.
opportunity. I was
Mm-hmm.
privileged enough to have this. Then I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna make it worth my time. And like I love the city so much.
Right.
Truly, like I love it so much. And like for me, it goes back to my mom. Like for her to have lived there and enjoyed her life, I feel like I'm following her path in my own way.
Hmm.
Right.
And
Right.
like it's a lot to deal with. Like again, the city is not easy. So you're dealing with a lot of things mentally every day.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Yep.
it's how do you make the most of it? Like
I don't think also people understand that, don't get me wrong, like obviously again, Manila is great, but Manila is you could go around Manila and literally see the same person on the same day and you guys know each other. They don't understand how impossible that is to do in New York City.
yeah,
When you see one person, you're probably not going to see them for the next 3 months. Like it's really a huge city,
yeah. Or
and
just
people don't understand that. Like
being
I think
and abroad. I
yeah,
think
I
it's
think they have this idea of New York City as just what they see in the movies, right? Like
Hmm.
that's what it is. But there's so much more pockets in the city, and I'm sure where you are, Babs, too, in like the UK, like in London specifically, like there's so many pockets of London. It's not just the Big Ben. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
No.
Like it's not just it's
People,
you know.
big
Londoners are like,
breakfast.
let's say you're on the west side and you have a friend on the east side of London.
Right.
Sometimes you guys see each other like twice a year, especially with work
Exactly.
and everything. And it's
Exactly.
like having to coordinate travel and all that. Like,
Yeah. Because
yeah.
I think some
Hmm.
people are like, how hard is it? Like you're gonna bump into this person, like because in Manila you do bump into the same people because
Oh
it's
my
such a
God.
small
Sometimes
city.
like every
Too
day.
much. You
Yeah,
bump
yeah,
into
yeah.
them too much
Yeah.
Miss though about back home. It's because
because you see more people,
guys and be
right?
like,
Yeah. It was
hey, I'm
so easy
around.
to
You
Yeah,
see
want to hang
people.
out?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah,
that to me was what Manila can offer to you. Like
yeah.
growing
It was
up,
homey.
the comfortability of
Yeah,
it all is just like I could just call you, we can hang out. Literally, you can hang out every day if you wanted to because it's
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
small.
true.
But like when I look at New York, whenever I try to explain New York, right? Because majority of our friends are in New York. Think of like all the boroughs of New York
Mm-hmm.
compressed into one, and that's Manila. That's how
Literally, yeah.
easy it is to see each other.
Exactly.
And like, but in New York, the reality of things is just like, even if my friend is like 2, 3 blocks away from me, but this person's busy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Can't
Yep.
exactly.
pull you out of your busy day because I'm gonna be selfish and I want you to myself. No, you can't.
Right.
Just like, there's so much more respect for people's time when you're abroad because everybody is hustling to do
We're
something.
like, so look at this, Babs. Cher and I are literally, without traffic, we're literally 15, 20 minutes away from each other.
And you see
Literally.
each other
But we only
like,
see each other twice a year. And
yeah.
thrice now because of this one.
Yeah.
But in general,
Yeah.
just because it's just such a busy thing. And I also think that a lot of people who have not really like stayed here, they do have this notion that New York only means New York City, like Manhattan.
Yeah, not
It
the
but
New
it
York
that's not the
State.
case. It's a whole, like, it's not just serendipity. It's not just the movies. It's there's 5 boroughs in in this whole area. So like it's just very, it's hard to explain, but yeah, it's so different. It's the same in the sense that it's a city and it's like, you love the city like Manila, but then it's also so different because it's so huge and the opportunities and everybody else is just so different. Would you
You
say it's the
know,
same in the UK, perhaps? Like
actually,
it's
like to add on to what you were saying earlier, I think the reason why, like where we're all living now, it's a bit like harder to see people, even though you're maybe like a 15-minute drive
yeah,
away or so, is that currently we're all in like first world developed countries, and the culture around work and grind
it's
is
different.
different compared to,
So
let's say, the
different.
more laid back culture
Mm-hmm.
in not just Manila, but in the Philippines in general. Like, I guess taking from the Spanish with the whole siesta thing, it's just a lot more laid back. Where we're
Right.
like, what's the term for it? Like, the after work. If suddenly we want to just like hang
Go
out
get a
in this
drink.
area like Poblacion or something, it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we can pop by. So it's a
exactly.
lot more flexible in that sense.
Right.
So it's I guess just the culture, especially revolving around work culture, that
I
makes
think it
it.
also comes with our age, I would say. I think it's because like back in
Yeah,
the
that's
day
true.
when we were so much younger, we could drink our heart out and just go to work the
And
next
people
day
don't
and
have
it's totally
kids and stuff
fine,
like that.
like
No, that's true.
now it's like you don't want to go to work hungover. It's just not
No
worth it
way.
because it's really just not worth it. So, especially if you have, like, for example, for you, Cher, you have like a big project. Like, it's not worth it to be dead the next day. Like, it's just,
Oh,
it's
it takes
just,
me 2 days to recover nowadays. I
I
don't
think it
drink
takes me a week
anymore.
now.
My God.
It's not the same.
Mhm.
I think as you get older, it's like you could still do whatever you really want to do. I think that's like the
With
adult.
money.
It's just like with money, whatever you want to do for yourself. You want to drink today? Sure. You want to drink tomorrow?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
Like,
yeah.
mine is just like I pick my own battles.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Like I'm a little bit more practical about it. But then
Yeah.
it's also because of just the reality of things. Like
Yeah.
living abroad, you need to work to their standards.
Yep.
That back home,
Yep.
if let's say you're working with your friends, you create your own standards for
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
specific
Mhm.
work that you're doing. But here it's just like for me, I have to be the best representation. Even back home, it has to be the best representation of yourself. But
Especially because
you
you're
have
working for yourself. You
yeah,
represent
Mm-hmm.
your, like,
yes. And
yeah,
then
Yep.
yeah.
like, you want them to say something good about yourself. I
Mhm.
mean about your work and like
Mm-hmm.
how
Mm-hmm.
you guys work together and all those things. And like I think it's different when you get older because you tend to reprioritize.
Right.
Mhm.
So like me, I still like to go party. I love dancing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out if I want to, but
Cher still has the stamina, Babs. You and I are like
I
grandmothers at this
Oh,
do.
point.
not me.
I do. No, but at the same time, it's just I have to live with the reality that I have.
Yeah.
So it's just like I don't have sort of the free schedules that Manila can offer. I have to
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
reschedule everything with my friends, and it has to be like months in advance or weeks
Right.
in advance. And it's great
Yeah.
if we could do it today. Like that's a pleasant surprise. Like honestly, it's a surprise for me if we can do it today.
Yeah.
But there's just like different way it creates a different way of you enjoying your time when you live abroad.
Right.
It's because there's so much more things that you need to factor as compared to like
Mm-hmm.
living in Manila. Everything's just there. Your friends are
Yeah.
just
Yes.
there, you know, and it's
Yep.
also
Yep.
just, but now, like, but now since I live here and when I moved here, first of all, I have to make friends.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like I am starting from scratch. I have to make friends and then I have to create opportunities for myself. And then I have to restart and rebuild my life here.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, that's it. Like I do have relatives and they're in DC,
Mm-hmm.
you know. My sister's in DC. She's a little bit, but that's still 5 hours away.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's not
Yeah.
like I could just drop everything and go 5 hours. That's 10 hours of my day just
Yeah.
going back and forth. And
Right.
not as close as just like, oh, I'm just going to Alabang and Makati.
Exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
and I think it's just you're so much more considerate of your time. Everything's a bit more intentional, but I think it also comes with age. Because again, when I was saying earlier, like in your 20s, if you live in like Lower East Side in New York, you're making friends with everybody there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then
Mm-hmm.
when you get older, you want a little bit more peace and quiet, so you find a different apartment. Or unless you like the chaos, you could stay wherever you want to stay.
Right.
But people have stuff to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And like people have other responsibilities that they have to cater to. And as adults, we just need to respect that and find our own time to kind of have an intentional hangout with a purpose. And like
Right.
the parties that we throw, majority of the time, those are the only parties we go to unless it's very, very special that we're trying to see this specific DJ or like supporting a
Right.
Yeah.
brand or like it's a birthday or like there's something happening. But I wish I was still young, like in my 20s.
Don't we all?
Yeah, no, but like in my 20s to be just like, let's just go out today. But then
I
like,
like that term though, what you said. It's more of when you're older, it's intentional hangout.
it's
I
definitely,
like
Yeah.
that term.
Yeah.
It is actually intentional. Well, it's different for you too, because you actually like making friends. Bappy and I were talking about it. We just couldn't care much to make much friends
Nowadays, it's so
anymore.
different, though.
Nowadays, yeah,
Like,
we're just so
my
like,
perspective on it,
eh.
it's
I mean,
difficult. Know why? I don't know if it's just me, but I honestly think it's a little bit more difficult when you get older. But I think it's difficult because we're choosy.
That's true.
there's that.
No, but choosy
That's true.
not because
Hmm.
we're just choosy people, but it's
Yeah.
like
It's not just
we're-
making friends for the sake of making friends.
yes,
Like, we really
yes,
want
like
people we connect with
yes.
Yeah.
Like it
authentically.
holds more value compared to
Yeah.
you, like, you know, when we were younger in our 18s, they were just like, we'll make
Yeah.
friends with
Oh,
everybody. Like this
yeah,
is
Yeah,
yeah.
that.
everybody's
But
best
like
friend.
Random
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
now it's just like
Like,
it's I don't want to say because it sounds mean, but it's just like there's a trial process
Right.
of
because, like,
like
getting to
the
know,
first few
it's
times
like
we hang out,
dating.
if it's really like a vibe,
It's
if
Uh-huh.
exactly like dating. You're right, Babs. It's
yeah,
actually like dating. Like even if you're just making friends, like there's a criteria for everybody
Hmm.
now. And it's
And,
and
like,
it's
feeling
funny
around
because
each
like if you
other and
don't
stuff like
vibe,
that. Yeah.
yeah, and if you
Hmm.
don't vibe, you just don't vibe and it's fine.
yeah,
Like
Hmm.
let's move on. Like I don't because it's different because in Manila you kind of even if you don't vibe, you kind of still have to vibe because this
You're
person
gonna
might be
bump
friends with your
into,
other friend
yeah.
that you vibe with. So you kind of have to vibe with them. But here it's kind of like you don't vibe, it's all right. You're in the same place. You don't really have to talk. It's not really
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
a
I think it's because
necessity.
like for a small city like Manila, you're in a microscope. You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
everything
Yeah.
is you know, they like to make chismes, plain and simple.
Hmm.
And like every
Chismes for everybody who doesn't know the
Gossip.
Filipino lingo is gossip or the tea, basically.
The
So
yeah,
that's
tea.
and
chismes.
like it's really part of our culture. You know, it's I don't blame it. It's just how it is.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it's like you're in a microscope because every small thing you can do can be blown up to proportion, or like who you're
Yeah.
speaking to can be blown up to like you're flirting when really you're just friends. You know, it's just so
Ugh,
small. It can
yes.
be so big. But when you're in bigger cities like New York or like the UK or just like
Right.
in a different country, there's so many people. They don't give a fuck about you.
No.
Truly.
Hmm.
They like it's really who you choose to surround yourself with and like what power do you want to give them. You know, it's
Exactly.
just like what time do I want to give you? How much do I want you to know of me? And it's really like being able to pick and choose sort of who you want to truly share yourself with. And it's not just with age too. I just feel like when we were younger, we were kind of doing this, but it's just a whole different landscape being abroad because there's so many types of people
Types of people,
Yeah.
there you
that
go. Yep.
you do get to meet them. But then again, like the trial and error of just like what kind of friendship are we trying to build? Is it actually a
Right.
friendship or is it more acquaintance? And
Mhm.
Yeah.
like, and are we gonna hang out often, or is it just gonna be pleasantries that I see you every so often and it's nice? And like, that's why like intentional hangouts are important because you really, for me, that's people making time to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
Yeah.
your friend.
Yeah.
To see you.
Yes.
Do you think there was anything you would have done differently from like your whole move? Is there any kind of regret that you
Oh,
have, you
like
think,
in the process of moving from the
of process of
Philippines
moving?
to the
Yeah.
US.
Is there
Um,
any regret or like,
Not really. I I don't really regret moving. I don't think I regret the way I moved. I think everything kind of worked out the way it was supposed
was
to.
supposed to?
Just
Mm.
because like again, like I moved because nothing was happening back home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like I think maybe like if it was like a whole different scenario, like if I had like so much more things going on back home, right? And like moving here and just drop everything,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I might feel that, but when I moved here, I felt like it was the right time for me. Um, it is challenging though. It was challenging. It still is
Still
Mm-hmm.
is.
challenging,
Hmm.
but I would like to think I like to thrive in challenges, like and to grow. So I don't really regret anything just because it helped me become myself.
Right.
And like to see what I'm so much more capable of. Like things I could
That's
do, things
awesome.
I could learn, but I always just want to learn something new, or like
That's good.
more of the
Yeah.
cultures of other people. Like tell me about it. Like in Manila you can have that, but then still
It's so
like,
limited.
It's
yeah, like
different.
it's still
Yeah.
it's not limited, but it limits you.
It limits you,
Oh
correct.
yeah,
It
so
limits your
it's
growth.
like it's you're so comfortable that sometimes you're complacent. You just live in it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And like
Yeah.
you're okay with what you have, and like that's
Right.
great. And like I'm not saying that everybody, like a lot of people I know back home are thriving and I'm very happy for them.
Yeah.
But like
Exactly.
also for me, I wanted something else.
You wanted something more.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
wanted more. And like what more meant for me is to move and
right.
like see what life can be. And like again, if it doesn't work for me, I can just go back home.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
like
Sure.
literally
Mm-hmm.
Anna's and my sentiment as well.
Yeah.
What we were talking about in previous episodes. All three of us, like, we all moved for, I mean, of course, different reasons, different
Yeah.
points in our lives, so on and so forth. But like the essence of why we moved, I would say is
Mm-hmm.
pretty on point, pretty
Yeah.
similar.
It's pretty similar.
Yeah,
And we all have, I would say it is a I guess privilege that we have the
absolutely.
choice to
No, it's
move
not
back
moving
if
out of
we wanted to.
necessity and just
Yeah.
moving because
Yeah.
we just wanted, that.
That's why I have so
Yeah.
much regard for uh Filipino workers that go because they have to provide for their family. It's
1000.
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
easy. People think
My
that,
gosh,
oh,
yeah.
they went to another country. Oh, they have more money now. Okay, they have more to bring back home. It's terrible to think like that because it's really not easy. Adjusting to a whole new culture is not easy. It's not sure. Okay, opportunities wise, and I say this all the time. Yes, there are more opportunities elsewhere. I agree with. But the struggle is still the same. And that's what people don't
Or even
understand.
more
Or
sometimes.
even more
Because
sometimes because
it's, yeah, you don't have
the
the
three of us,
fallback
like, we
of.
know, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we all know this. We're the three of us are technically alone. Like, all we don't have family here. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
well, now, obviously our little families are our families, but like, like our parents, or all our parents are not here. We don't have aunts or uncles or anything like that. Like, it's it's rough, and it's also it's mainly a mind game too. I would say it's
That's
definitely like
pretty much what it is.
a
Yeah.
mental,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's definitely a mind game for
Like with what you just said with like like OFWs, right? When
Mm-hmm.
because ours, it's just a choice. For them,
Yeah.
it's really like it was also a choice for them to leave, but at the end of the day, it's because they have so much more that they need to do.
They need
Provide.
to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like it's not just them they're carrying on their shoulders, but their entire
The
family
entire
with
Yes.
family.
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like to make their entire family's lives better. And I think that
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's
Massive respect for
commendable,
that.
truly.
Yeah.
It really is.
Like because
Mm-hmm.
It
my
really is.
mom would
Shout out
be.
to all the Filipino workers
Yeah,
out there.
like my mom was one. And like
Yeah.
literally every paycheck she had, other than the bills and utilities she needed to pay for to be able to live here, she poof,
Sent to.
sent
Mm-hmm.
back home
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
family that she needed to
Yeah.
provide back home. And like I sometimes wonder if she got to fully enjoy her life here,
Her
the
life.
things that
Right.
Mm.
she wanted to do, because
Right.
she was working relentlessly
Yeah.
to be able
Yeah.
to provide. So
Provide.
like to all the OFWs out there, truly, like you are
Shout out.
kings and
Yeah.
queens.
Seriously, it's really not
Flipping
easy.
amazing. Yeah.
We talk to each other and we sort of not really complain, but we vent out to each other how much we've had a hard time adjusting, and we're all still adjusting to where we are. And but with them, it's like, yeah, they're adjusting emotionally, mentally, but they also just have to jump it because they have to work. They can't have a mental breakdown because they need the money.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
just it's a lot. It's a lot. And again, like, shout out to them. Like we see you, we see
Mm-hmm.
every
Mm-hmm.
Filipino worker that goes to, not even just Filipino workers, anybody who's ever jumped from their home country to
This
another
is
country
true. Yeah.
out of necessity. Oh, God bless, honestly. So, but with that being said, we will wrap this up, but we have this one portion share that we didn't tell you because it's a surprise. We call it Fast and Feisty. So it's basically, so this is the
Cher's
part
gonna be the very first one doing
yes,
this.
you are going to be the
on the
very first one.
podcast.
Error.
So this is the part of the show where you will have 2 to 3 minutes to answer all the questions.
Rapid
And you have to
fire.
answer as fast as you can. You have no time to think. You're not allowed to explain. You just have to answer all raw answers. Like literally, if you think you made a mistake, sorry, we got to move on to the next question. So that's what it's going to be. So
Not ready.
are you this is how we are going to end our show, and this is what, again, we call it Fast and Feisty. Woo. Let's put that media on. Let's put that.
A round of applause.
Okay. So, are you ready, Cher? Okay.
Yes, ready.
All right. No explanations. Whatever it is, you can't explain. Sorry, you just have to answer on the first thing that pops in your head, basically. All right. In 3, 2, 1. Black and white or rainbow?
Rainbow.
Yacht or plane?
Ooh,
on.
yacht.
Mountains or beach?
Beach.
Suburbs or city?
City.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Pineapple and pizza, yes or no?
No.
Be invisible or have lightning speed?
Invisible.
Rapunzel long hair forever or bald forever?
Rapunzel long hair forever.
To love or to be loved?
To be loved.
Hot but dumb or smart but ugly?
Smart but ugly.
Big boobs, flat ass, big ass, flat boobs.
Ooh. I'm flat in my boobs. So maybe big butt. It's fine.
Would you rather be replaced by someone prettier or uglier than you?
What?
Would you
Again?
rather be replaced by someone prettier or uglier than you?
Prettier?
No sleep or no food?
Oh, no. Sleep.
What's worse, bad breath or bad sex?
Ooh. Bad sex.
Would you rather do it under the bright lights or pitch dark?
Pitch dark.
Top or bottom?
Bottom.
Go back to an ex or be single forever?
Ooh. Oh my.
Come on.
Single?
Rich cheater or loyal and broke?
Oh, loyal and broke.
Thick and small or long and thin? Always finish too quick or never finish at all.
Oh, too quick.
Celibate for 5 years or give up your favorite food for life.
Oh.
Just choose one. Come on.
Celibate, I'll survive.
Okay. Forever young but ugly, forever old but beautiful.
Forever old but beautiful.
Authentic but hated or fake but loved.
Authentic but hated.
One word to describe your worst ex. You don't have to say who, obviously, but one word to describe your worst ex. One word.
Asshole.
If we turn back time, would you do it again? Yes or no?
Which one?
In general,
Just-
life.
Yeah.
No.
One regret in life.
Not making the most of life every day. I think like before. I think
Gotcha.
now be more present.
One word to describe your younger self.
Wait, that's
Younger self.
Like-
One word, just one word.
Yeah, this
Um,
goes
Don't
deep.
overthink it. Just say one
no,
word.
I know.
Crazy,
Foolish.
fun, foolish. Okay, perfect. One word to describe your present self in the U.S.
Oh, proud.
Finish the sentence. I am Cher from the U.S. and I am.
Flirty and fresh. Just kidding, beautiful.
Love it. Keep that. Last but not the least, one advice to all the listeners about life abroad or starting a new chapter in general.
Wait, again?
Last advice for all the listeners about life abroad or starting a new chapter in general.
Don't be afraid. Just
Love
it.
that.
Love it.
Love that.
take the challenge.
Love that. But yeah, we're gonna say bye to all our listeners for now.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys. Please follow us on all our channels. We're gonna be streaming on YouTube. We're gonna be streaming on Spotify. We have our socials. We're called Unpack Diaries. Unpack, no ed. Unpack Diaries. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Please follow us. Please like. Please subscribe, and everything. So. Again, thank you, Cher.
A massive thank you to our first
Cher
guest,
Louis
Cher.
Alcantara. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking the time out of your day, and we will see you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.